What should parents say when kids ask about love? Hello everyone. Today I want to share something that I think every parent has pondered at some point. How do we talk to our kids about romantic love? Loving and being loved is one of the most beautiful things in life. Isn't it? As our kids grow up and start getting curious about emotions and those first flutters of the heart, I've realized that being open with them isn't just a duty, it's a precious gift. I came across an article by a parenting expert, and I want to retell it to you in my own words, with all my feelings, like I'm chatting with a friend. First, let me highlight the key points I took away. Most teenagers are hungry to hear about love from the adults they trust, especially us, their parents. But sadly, they don't always get that. This article offers 5 practical tips to help parents like me start those conversations. It's about helping kids understand what real love is, distinguishing it from fleeting crushes, recognizing healthy versus unhealthy relationships, and teaching them to love with kindness and respect. It sounds simple, but when you dive in, it takes a lot of heart and patience. Now, let's dig into each part so you can picture it better. The silent need kids have about love. Have you ever wondered what your kids really think about love? I used to assume my child was too young, that they didn't need to know yet. But then I read a study from Harvard University's Making Caring Common project, and it hit me hard. Turns out, so many teens aren't equipped with the knowledge to build deep, lasting relationships. Movies and social media are full of love stories, even the spicy stuff, but parents and schools? We're mostly quiet. That made me sad, because I realized I'd been unsure how to start that talk myself. The study dropped another surprise. 70% of young people aged 18 to 25 said they really wanted their parents to share more about the emotional side of love. They want to know how to love right, how to avoid getting hurt, and 65% of them wished their health or sex ed classes at school would cover emotions in relationships, not just contraception or disease prevention. Doesn't that tug at your heart? Our kids are craving guidance, but we adults often miss the mark. I told myself, I've got to step up and be there for my kid from now on. Talking to kids about love, where do we start? Honestly, the first time I thought about sitting down with my kid to talk about love, I was stumped. How'd I begin? What if they're shy? What if I mess up? But this article gave me 5 tips that I found so helpful, and I want to pass them on to you through my own lens, sharing so they understand real love. First, I learned to talk to my kid about mature love, how it's different from those quick crushes they might feel. I used to think, oh, they'll figure it out when they're older. But then I realized, if I don't say anything, who will help them tell the difference between a passing thrill and something deeper? I started by sharing my own stories, times I'd loved, times I'd failed, and the lessons I'd learned. I didn't need to be perfect, just real. I told my kid, love isn't just butterflies, it's about understanding and walking alongside someone. Those chats brought us so much closer, helping them spot good and bad relationships. Next, I learned to ask simple but meaningful questions, like, what do you think makes a good partner? Or, if someone upset you, what would you do? Through that, I showed them signs of a healthy relationship, where they're respected and free to be themselves, and red flags, like when someone tries to control or hurt them. I want my kid to know love should feel good, not like a burden, giving them real-life actions. Then I saw that just talking wasn't enough. Kids need examples. I started pointing out behaviors they might run into, like teasing that goes too far or disrespectful comments. I shared stories from books or movies where people face misunderstandings or tension and work through it. Together, we talked about the skills it takes to keep a relationship positive. I could see my kids starting to think more, and it made me so happy. Always being there to help. Another big lesson was not staying quiet when my kid's struggling. Once, They told me about a friend who was being treated badly in a relationship. I didn't just listen, I asked, "How do you think you could help?" I want them to know home is a safe place. And if something's off, I'll figure it out with them. Silence can feel like approval of the wrong things. So I decided I've got to speak up. Teaching them to love with kindness. Lastly, I want my kid to see that love means being kind, not just to a partner, but to everyone. I teach them to care, to treat people well, and to stand up for those who need it. I said, love isn't just about two people, it's how you grow into a good person. These talks don't just help them, they make me feel like I'm learning to love better too. I truly believe that instead of banning or leaving our kids to figure it out alone, we should walk with them as they explore love. These conversations aren't easy, but they're so worth it. What do you think? If you get the chance, try sitting down with your kid, starting with a little question, and see what magic unfolds. I wish you all the best. And thanks for listening to my thoughts today.